Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Shakespeare Awards, celebrated every year to recognize art projects in every field inspired of the work of the man, the myth, the legend, William Shakespeare. Please welcome this year's host, Jimmy Stratford.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor for me to be here. Wow! Shakespeare inspires everything, right? I'm telling you because I've read all of Shakespeare in English. Yeah, all of Shakespeare books. So let me tell you. Othello, it's a terrible tragedy. I mean, a great masterpiece, right? A great story. Which already begins badly because Othello was married to Desdemona. It's a beautiful woman. But their families were enemies to each other. The Capulets and the Montagues. But they marry anyway. So it turns out that Othello was walking along the walls of the castle, and all of a sudden, ghost of his father appears to him. Like, oh. Well, that depends on the actor, right? Because some other actors may play, so he's like, Dad! He wants to hug him, but he can't. He's in spectrum, an ethereal being, right? So the ghost says to him, I'm here to tell you that Desdemona is being unfaithful to you. And he's like, what, Dad? And he disappears. I mean, he was a spectrum, right? He lost signal. So anyway, Othello was walking at night around the hallways of the castle, right? And this is when he says the famous phrase, to be or not to be. Me not see. Because it was night. So anyway, Othello, he's thinking, well, is Desdemona innocent? She guilty? Well, just in case, I'll kill her. I mean, poor Desdemona. I mean, she was just unaware of everything, just lying there on her bed, watching TV. Yeah, there was TV in Venetia. Haven't you heard it's the city of the channels? But anyway, speaking about television, we have to move on to the first big number of the night. The composer Lajos Engregasi composed the score for a Romeo and Juliet adaptation. And in what can we say about the famous composer Lajos Engregasi that hasn't been said already? Right, he was a composer. We might classify him as from the style, not as much. He was born. He was the youngest one. When he was born, he was the youngest one. And he was still the youngest one for a while, casually until the brother was born. Well, I mean, we don't really know if he had any siblings, right? I mean, we might know. Myself, unfortunately, right now, I don't. So anyway. So he came from a family of musicians, right? Typical, just like any other big composer, right? Or he could also have come from a family that completely opposes to it, right? And I say Lajos Engregasi's case is a typical example of one of these two cases. I'd say it's more in the middle. Right? So anyway, let's not waste any more time. I don't want to dive into too much detail, right? And we're going to listen to Lajos Engregasi because, as they say, time is money, which in Spanish means el tiempo es un money. All the worst states. The stage. All the worst stage. And all the men, and wow, man. And all the men and women, merely players. They have their sex. They have their ex. They have their exes. They have their exits and their entrances. And one man in his time plays Manny. Manny, Manito, Manuel. And one man in his time plays many parts. At first the infant, meowing and purring. Mewling and puking in the narcissist, in the nurse's arms. Then the winning scolds the boy. Then the whining schoolboy. He didn't have the slash schoolboy. With his sad shell. With his satchel and the shining morning Facebook creepy likes nails. And shining morning face creeping like snail. William Shakespeare. Unwillingly to school. Las cené. Last scene, oh, Paul. Last scene of all, that sense, that tense, that ends, makes sense. That ends this rage. That ends this rage. That ends this strange eve. That ends this strange event. That ends this strange, even fool his choice. That ends this strange, eventful hysteria. His choice. That ends this strange, eventful history.